Good morning. I'm Sanuthmi Degambada, and today I'll start with a very popular romantic story from the colonial period of Sri Lanka, wrapped in sweet sea breeze and soothing moonlight. In 1805, Sir Thomas Maitland arrived in Colombo as the British colonial governor for Ceylon. On a night of celebration, his eyes were mesmerized by a sultry beauty fluttering in an enticing manner. Lovina Aponsova, a local dancer. He fell in love. He built his residence overlooking her house and built tunnels underneath the ground connecting his wine cellar to her village well. These are the pathways that Lovina took to meet the man whose love for her was so strong that he named the town after her, Mount Lavinia. After some time, Maitland had to leave his beloved Lavina, and a few years later, he died a bachelor. His love for her was too strong to forget. What happened? What did Lavina feel? Traveling underneath, hidden underground from society's scorn, comfort in the sovereign power of the country when she was from the lowest caste, not allowed to even cover her upper body. What happened to her? We don't know. History can't answer that. Because the moment he leaves, she ceases to exist. When I first asked this question, I was met with, why are you bringing modern values into history? Let history be history. But is it just history? Because this is not just Sri Lankan history. Throughout generation, this is the reality of women. We are silenced and reduced to appearance and treated as an object of desire. Every day, people are invisible, and also all the needs, the intangible human needs, are turned to the price of adhering to social standards, and the moment and is scorned when you fail to uphold it, and scorned when you oversee it, treated as an object of desire, nothing more. And also a support story to a man, another's character. And women, as this oppression of women converged throughout the society, through the cultures, so did the resistance to it. Every day, women strengthen themselves and each other to overcome the societal barriers, not only to overcome it, but also to destroy it altogether, to make it a little better for the future. Every day, women try to themselves. But this is my interpretation of that convergence. Gilded cage. This brings from Sri Lankan contemporary culture by placing the art forms of contemporary feminist art of Sri Lanka and placing them in a universal experience. Because what women feels when they are objectified and judged does not need translation. So the site is in Mount Lavinia. It is right next to the Gold Road, which connects the Colombo's capital to the Sri Lanka's down south, the tourist capital. And also, it is directly adjacent to a proposed public plaza and a proposed performance arts center. When we look at the past, like how we used to fight objectification, they all have one thing in common. They all fall under cognitive instruments. Cognitive instruments can only invoke cognitive empathy. This is, I understand how you must feel. It is not, it is taught, it is studied, and it is slow moving. And a man or any person standing next to a panel about gender discrimination it has no referral point to it, physical referral point. He can learn, but he can never understand it. Cognitive empathy can govern our actions, but it can never govern our beliefs. What we should invoke is affective empathy. I feel what you feel. It is a bodily movement. It comes before thought. And the body schema is the preconscious system that helps achieve effective empathy. It governs, it's the preconscious system that governs our movement and relationship through the space. And these are the 5 aspects of body schema that this design will be based on. And there are 3 aspects of effective empathy: intersubjectivity, multisensory engagement, and embodied empathy. As designers, we can create spaces with intersubjectivity and multisensory engagement, and through the aspects of body schema, these same elements can create embodied empathy. Intersubjectivity. In this design, intersubjectivity is concentrated in the ground floor area with open floor plants and very familiar furniture. Multisensory engagement is concentrated in upper floors, where the aspects of body schema is activated to create the to experience what when women feel when they are objectified. This is as we go through this site, the visitor sees this building by this busy road across a public plaza. The pink canopy overhead and the warm tone bench with no hierarchy invites them. It feels welcoming. The people want to enter. People are excited. And as they go, and these are the color choices that are used here in this area, and the materials of the steel ramp above, and the concrete flooring and concrete walls, and the colored concrete seating. These are warm colors to invite the people in. And as you sit on the lobby, your eyes falls onto the cafe just beyond. As you sit on the familiar picnic tables or on the conversation pits, above you, you can see the bright pink ramp overhead, and you can see silhouettes of people moving. But at this time, you don't read it as that. For you, it's just an aesthetic. You see it, and because you're in the cafe, surrounded by the greenery, by a calming pond next to it, you feel safe. But the pink above you energizes you. It excites you. It sparks your curiosity. So you want to enter. As you go on, enter, you know you will be seen by the people outside because this is not completely covered. But as you move through and look back, your perspective shifts. The space you assumed to be safe and secure and cozy was even more exposed from the ramp above. The space, you were never safe there. It was a false expression. But with that, you move on to the route because there's no privacy. And as you enter the gallery, the low ceiling, the dark interior with bright LED screens showcasing the video exhibitions, it creates a bit of an uneasiness, and also the translucent facade of the gallery. But you keep moving, and then you enter the other building. From outside, you can see the movement inside, and when you're inside, you can see the people outside. You can see the people outside, and also you know that you will be seen to others, but you have no idea of how much of you are exposed or what the other can perceive. So you're on the continuous unsureness and nervousness about how much you're seen and how you will be perceived by the other. And as you move on to the third gallery, you're suddenly exposed to a vast volume with, again, a translucent gallery with a glass ceiling above. The space, the volume, it creates an impression on you. You feel small, but also very exposed on all around. And as you move on through the pink, back to the pink ramp, and again at the last gallery with sawtooth roof and a mirror ceiling that amplifies the lighting, you see sculptures, and you also see the road outside, and you know you will be seen by the people on the road too. Then at this moment you're exhausted. You over time you realize that the building is one of the exhibitions, and through the low emission glass panels and translucent polycarbonate panels, the building has turned you into an exhibit too. Because you always assume that you are seen. This is Foucault's panopticon. It's not that you are always being watched, but it's also that the awareness of someone might be watching. So you control yourself. You you are focusing on how you're monitoring your own expressions, your own movements, because you think someone will be watching you, judging you. This is what chronic objectification does to a woman. Sometimes there's no observer, but throughout the childhood, we are taught that behave well, others are watching. Through that, they themselves has internalized the watcher, that every walk, every movement is governed by, will others be watching? How will others see me? How will others judge me? So this is what the spatial transition of that. And then comes the vertical descent. And as you move through, the acoustic conditions change completely. The outside voices, from the busy road, the plaza, it all moves away. And you're in this vertical shaft with the ramp circling downwards, all the way down. There's no escape route. You only have the road behind you, which you pass, or this circling path downways. This vertical shaft and this very unfinished raw concrete walls, it gives that it creates an uneasiness. It's research that these kind of verticals, enclosed spaces invoke our threat detection system, physiology. It's a physiological discomfort. It's not a preference per se. And also, throughout the journey, the exposure to pink intensify. It starts out as energetic and welcoming and curious, but over time it becomes oversaturation, and it is identified that oversaturation of any bright color creates physiological visual discomfort. It's not just a preference. And this is the reality of pink, because pink is widely known as the color of feminism, but this pink itself has become a burden, or like a silent sabotage for women through things like pink tax. And also it's the idea of how the contemporary society markets this objectification, or this, because contemporary society market it as, oh, this is engagement, you're going to be popular, that through social media, this objectification, it's marketed that you will be seen. But over time, and so especially as we start, we are interested, we participate in that, because it invokes our curiosity, excitement. But over time, it gets saturated and overwhelming throughout the journey. And you come back to the bright entrance that you came before, the warm, bright, the ones where you felt safe. But now you don't feel safe anymore, because your perspective has shifted. And this is Gilded Cage. This is not a building that asks the visitor to make a statement. It places the visitor inside a journey and let them understand what's the difference between I know it is a problem to I have felt what it cost. This is, Lavina did not have buildings. She had tunnels. She was going underground, hid by the society, ashamed of her own skin, on her own blood, and hiding away. This is her building, and for every woman whose name became a place and the story forgotten. Thank you.